Sri Arunachala Ramanaya Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya Om. Looks like no one has any questions, which is so good. End of doubt, end of questions means you are in your bliss. Yeah. So why don't you say, anyone can say what bliss they are experiencing or how things are. Why don't we share some spiritual blessing among us?
I am currently reading the Ribhu Gita.
Yes, Ruchi.
And even though it says basically the same thing in so many different ways, it is starting to feel so much nicer reading it, because once I started reading it earlier and I could not read much of it. But now as I read it, it is so peaceful and beautiful that I recommend to everyone who can read that book, the Ribhu Gita.
Beautiful, yeah. So look, Ribhu Gita, you can get a PDF, but there are two from Ramana Ashram. One is by this guy from California, Nome, Nome, along with someone else. There are two authors of it. And the other one is also very beautiful, which is done by the Canadian Center in, I'm not remembering his name right now, but I had both. One is lost, or maybe not lost, I have given to someone, didn't get it back, but that's okay. But I have realized that Ribhu Gita is doing exactly what we do in Satsang. Keep on reminding, keep on remembering, keep on bringing attention to the self. We do in Satsang, and we should do it after Satsang, and we should do it while reading something like Ribhu Gita. I think I told in Bhagavan's days, Ribhu Gita was recited every day. Some of the devotees who were uneducated, they couldn't understand the meaning. And they pointed out to Bhagavan that what is the purpose of me reciting this book which I don't understand? He said, don't worry, you just keep reciting, it will take you to the source. Because if you open Ribhu Gita, what is it? It is continuous repetition, page after page, of the same thing in different ways, telling you, you are pure awareness, you are pure Brahman, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotions, nothing belongs to you, and you are that bliss. I would suggest, Ruchi, you can recite from any favorite chapter or any line what you want to, and we all can listen together.
Okay. I was actually reading, I've just started reading it again, because first time when I went through it, I wasn't happy the way I went through it. So I'm just on chapter 2, and I will read, actually I'll read something just from the middle. between the mind and sankalpa, there is not the least difference. Mind is all the world's. Mind itself is the greatest enemy. Besides mind itself is the great transmigration. Mind itself is birth, senility, and death. Mind itself is the great sorrow. Mind itself is the great blemish. Mind itself is time and all such. Do you want me to continue? Mind itself is sankalpa and vikalpa. Mind itself is intellect and thought. Mind itself is ego. Indeed, mind itself is all the entities in general. Mind itself is the individual, jiva, and the bondage. Mind itself is the doer and the enjoyer. Mind itself is earth, water, and fire. Mind itself is air and the expand space. Mind itself is sound and touch. Mind itself is form and taste. Mind itself appears as smell. Mind itself is the sheath of food. Mind itself is the sheath of vital airs, pranas. Mind itself is the sheath of mind. Mind itself is the sheath of intellectual knowledge. Mind itself is the sheath of bliss.
Beautiful. Very nice. And it explains so clearly. And it is just maybe a page what Ruchi has just read, but the whole book is that. It is to not brainwash you, but to empty you from your concepts, from your beliefs, what you think, and your trust with the mind, so much trusting what the mind is saying. Once you contemplate that something like mind, which we are using, is the problem, then you can look beyond it. Then you can look for solution. Then you will not get entangled in your thoughts. I'll give you a very simple thing in day to day. Let's say you are doing something with some expectation of some results and it happens. Even when you are doing and you are trying to be aware of doing, but not as a doer, but as a witness, there's another very good hint. When those things happens the way those results should be there, and you feel elated inside, as if a lot of joy has come because it has happened, just watch it. It means the enjoyer is still sitting inside. Not you, but fake you. Similarly, when something you were trying, or you can say the body is trying, when you are trying to be non-doer, but when things don't happen the way it has to, and you suddenly feel a depression or a sorrow or hurt, remember that ego is there, that the one which is feeling all this. So in everything from morning till you go to bed, we come across so many things. The results are favorable or unfavorable. Watch the feeling within you, and you don't have to suppress any feeling. Your intense, vigilant watching will keep identifying that ego within us, which is enjoying, which is not feeling well about the results. Your just mere observation will dissolve it. For some, may be very quick, for some, slowly, but that process will continue because you are watching as pure awareness to whatever is unfolding. More you stay as a witness to things, more it is clear for you what we are talking about right now. What we are talking in this satsang, someone might not even understand what we are talking. If someone is always in that ego, who has never done any self-inquiry or reflection or contemplation or going deep into this inquiry that why I am unhappy and what is this happening. Because everyone who starts this process, they are at different levels because of their practices in past or because of their circumstances. So we are not all starting at the same point. It is like a race which someone is very close to the ribbon and someone is too far, miles away. Depends how much entangled we are in our mind. Another thing which some people get confused is because of terminology. They think there is a pure mind and there is an empty mind and there is no mind and there is mindfulness or there is disturbed mind. Leave aside all these things. Understand that if you can stay as a witness most of the time, most of the day, you are in that Brahman, that pure awareness. More you stay there, more you will experience joy. That is the other sign. When you are feeling peace, when you're loving silence, when you're not attracted to all the distraction of sensual pleasures. They are distractions. They are not enjoyment. Enjoyment for the doer only. Enjoyment for the... So that means there's an enjoyer who is going for these things. That also gives you a hint whether I am still in that ego mode or whether I am in awareness. Constant vigilance. Understand a jnani, an enlightened, actually is enlightened. There's a light in it. There's a lot of light in it. Lot of, when they say awakening, actually it is awakening in a sense that this awakened state is also a dream state. The true awakened state is beyond it, beyond the play of mind. Because what we are seeing right now, everything, including this body, mind, and everything, word and people, and everything is projection of mind only. Even to talk in a satsang, to use a speech, we are using this power of mind only. To convey anything in this word, we have to use it. But understand you are beyond it. And be there where you are not this. Bhagavan has said so clearly in his first instructions when he was, I think, 21 in 1902. And he said very clearly that until you believe in this word, you will not know the truth. There is no chance in it. What he's talking about is going back to the source is important. Not going to the source. You will believe in this word only, that I am this body, this is my mind, and I am interacting, and I am a doer. Till you are a doer, till you are an enjoyer, you are in the law of karma. Good acts, good effect. Bad acts, bad effect. But when you are not a doer, then there will be no effect. Some scriptures say that in that state, what happens to the karmas done by the body of a jnani? And they explain it beautifully. I don't know whether it's true or not. You can decide yourself. But they say if the jnani is doing good deeds, all his devotees get the prasad or fruit of those good deeds. And if the jnani is doing bad deed, all his enemies or people who criticize, they take away all the bad karmas. Nothing is left with him because he is a non-doer. If that body has to do some mistake, who knows, then those bad effects are taken by his enemies. Because there are some people who might even be disliking him. So, look, it is just a way to convey that nothing affects jnani. It is such a simple logic if you even use your mind to understand. Till you are having this doership, you are bound by the rules of this world. Don't think it is a dream and it is just useless. This dream also have physical laws. There's science behind it. There's a logic. Everything is working so perfect. It's a very perfect dream. It has its own rules and laws. And always they work. Everything is perfect in this dream. But you are beyond this dream. You are not even part of this dream. You are the source of this dream. It is, if you see what Ruchi was talking about mind, whose mind was she talking about? She was talking about all the minds of all the people. Like we are all born with this projector which is projecting this word in front of us with people and beings, us as in one body, and then other people, and then the whole world. And it looks so real because we are always in this dream. It's a perpetual dream. It only ends when you go to the source. And you go to the source, you are always the source. So how the dream ends? Dream ends with the end of the dreamer. How the dreamer ends? Dreamer ends by some efforts by that dreamer, which is a paradox. By paying attention to that source. When we pay attention to that pure self in us, you know what happens? You stop thinking, you stop planning, your desires vanish, your attachments disappear, because all your energy which was going externally is going internally to the source when you pay attention there. So the same mind which was projecting outward, projection, it is a projector, it's projecting everything. It just brings back its energy, puts to the source, and that is what you can also call as surrender. It is surrendering its energy, its doership. Mind is the ego, mind is emotions, mind is desire, mind is attachment, mind is everything. The moment this mind of yours starts accepting, starts understanding that there is this higher authority which is already taking care of everything, and I don't have to worry, it surrenders to this beautiful self. And its surrender actually is this self-attention. It stops looking outside. And it is not wasting any energy whatsoever in outside things. It becomes like a tortoise. It takes away energy from our all senses. Like, just understand how people spend their time. Let's go to a party, let's go for ice cream, that best coffee is in this town, let's go for it. I love to go to, this place in world. I want to taste this, I want to wear this, I want to live this, I want to buy this. All this is our slavery to our sense organs of this body. But the moment it is looking for a higher taste, this mind gives up lower taste and becomes antarmukhi, looking within, paying attention to this entity in us, none other than us, which is always in bliss, which is all these qualities which we want you to inculcate are already there. But let's say this mind effortfully gets to all the qualities of the self. What will happen? Mind will lose its attributes. You can call it pure mind or clear mind or still mind, and it will merge. It actually doesn't merge also. It is that only, but it is the reflection coming as mind, which is a doer, which thinks I own this body mind and I have to do this and that. I have to achieve something in this world. And all this, let this dream continue. The moment you move within, you are taking away energy from the mind, going externally. If you are serious in your sadhana, in your practice, in your effort, what is going to happen is that these number of thoughts and your passion for the word will decrease. You will have vairagya, dispassion, disinterest in things around you. And I was talking to someone today, and exactly this thing came, that disinterest looks like someone is depressed. And in Sanskrit, there is a word udasin, which means calm, peaceful. And the corrupted word in Hindi is udas, which means depression. Because a person who is sitting in a cave or sitting at house and he's in bliss, he and a depressed person doesn't look different, They both look like not interested in the word. A jnani is not interested in the word because he's getting all what the word can never give him: peace and bliss and happiness. And a depressed person is not in that bliss. He's so much entangled in the mind to that extreme that he wants to get rid of the mind, but mind is not leaving, because the technique what he is using to get rid of the mind is by not by disliking the mind. In form of negative thoughts are coming and he dislikes. But even dislike, even hate is a type of negative attachment, isn't it? It binds you. When you hate something or your enemies, you are still attached to them in a way. But in some way, a depressed person is more close to freedom. At least he's not enjoying his mind. So he can go into that opening. He can get into this inward journey very quickly. You might have heard about Eckhart Tolle, one of the very prolific speaker on non-duality, you can call, or same thing, what we are talking about. He was quite stressed or depressed with his life. He was doing some PhD, he had no money, his life he thought was of no use. He mentions that he was having bread with tomato sauce. I don't think that's such a bad thing, but yes, it shows that you have no money and no variety. And somehow in all that, something happened and he was pulled out of the mind. And then for next few months, he was sitting on a bench in that bliss. He had no clue what has happened to him, but he liked the grass, he liked the sunshine, he liked the bench. He was in bliss, and that bliss never left him. It never left him because he never moved back into the mind. He disliked it. Mind has not given him any type of joy for any reason all his life. So when he was pulled out, he never went back. Most of unfortunate people are those who are enjoying the life, who have everything what they desire and they get it in a silver plate. Their ego will be huge and their desires will be infinite, and their ambitions will continue for next multiple births. One day, when some suffering hits or something might happen, it might change, but they are going away from the source. A person with some sort of suffering or unhappiness actually can leave this because he's not enjoying it. He's not enjoying this play, the role being given or the circumstances being given. It's not always that suffering brings you here. Inquisitiveness brings you here. Some previous sadhana brings you here because you are always interested in this. Sometimes love for God brings you here because it is nothing but God. So everyone who comes on the path of spirituality or path of knowing themselves can have different reasons, and in different frame of mind, different life circumstances can bring you here. But whatever brings you here is grace. So we should have gratitude for that divine, for that absolute, that it has brought us here. Interest in this is half job done already, because now you are looking outwardly, you are looking inwardly. That itself is a big difference. And when you keep practicing it, I'll tell you honestly, you will start feeling all the fragrance of your own purity. This is the first time you will fall in self-love. Always you are falling in loving others. This is the time when you will start loving yourself. So much so to the exclusion of others. And the only company you don't want to leave is your own company, which is eternal. And even if the whole world goes against you, it doesn't matter. So stay in your own pure presence all the time, intensely watching what things are happening rather than getting pulled into the ego mode or your mind energy. Be so big that mind becomes your slave. Go into this energy of the self, which is infinite. Touch that. Once you have touched, you will find your mind is like nothing. These mind attacks, and we get swayed away by this mind thoughts. It will be nothing. But to be there, you have to have constant efforts, paying attention to the self, that pure awareness within us, which is watching all thoughts but not attracted to any thought, which is not even owning any thought. Body's action it is watching but uninvolved. Body does, it watches. See how beautiful it is if in awareness mode you see the body moves. In awareness mode, each action of the body becomes so beautiful. Every movement becomes so beautiful that sometimes you wonder that it is such a trivial movement of the body. Maybe you are just picking up a toothbrush, putting some paste, and having a brush. It becomes divine. Because that joy is there all the time. So every movement, everything looks so precious and so beautiful in that energy field. So abide in this pure energy. And you can reach this energy only in your silence. You cannot reach here with thoughts. You can reach here with thoughts also, but you have to disown these thoughts. No ownership. When you take all these thoughts as just a noise, as a background noise, then you can even achieve in spite of that noise. So your ownership to your body, your mind has to go. There you are alone. You can't take your friends. You can't take your mind. You can't take anything. Anything what you can feel, touch, hear, you can't take. It is exactly like your night dream. Can you take anything out of your night dream into the waking state? You cannot take anything. Same is here. You cannot take anything. Thing cannot reach there. It is no thing. And you are that nothing. Your power of observation is you only. That observation, that observer. Observer without thoughts is you. Rest all is not you. All these are gadgets. Identify yourself only with pure awareness and stay there. And when the mind ticks, a thought comes, just watch it. Don't engage. And the next one comes, don't engage. And the next one comes, don't engage. And then somehow you get lost. The moment in that awareness you see, pull yourself back. Understand what this practice needs from us: vigilance, alertness, awakeness. What helps to be more awake? Good night sleep. All these rules. Diet in moderation, Sattvic diet, not engaging with people who are very strong-minded, egoistic personalities, not indulging in too many sensual pleasures. All these things count. So someone don't have to write a rule book that it is your own sadhana, your practice. So it happens. Nobody has to tell you. It will happen because now you know that when you eat this, when you do this, when you go there, your energy draws out into the mind. So you will stop doing those things. It is all this game of energy, what level it is playing. If it is playing at the materialistic level, you will not know that unknown. If you conserve this energy and bring it there to open that door, all the right things will happen for you. You are so much in a vigilant state that it will take you there. And when you are in this, you will understand this is so natural, so simple. It is effortless, it is you. And then you can only laugh on yourself that what a stupid person I was, always using the tool called mind and staying in it, going through that roller coaster ride. Because it is not difficult at all. Difficulties, people are not trying to look within. Number one, they're enjoying wherever they are. Number two, they've never done it and they don't believe in it. Number three, they have tried maybe something crazy ideas. There are millions of ideas about this awareness, millions of ways to reach it. Some of the ways are so weird. So many fake teachers, fake gurus, rituals, so many things. So many ugly stories out of all these cults and things, and my God, I don't know. Which scares all of us, isn't it? So we think it's better to be like this rather than being something else which is more uglier. And this journey is just between you and you. You don't need any middlemen. You don't need anyone. The journey is from ego to egolessness. The journey is from person to pure presence. The journey is from a doer to non-doership. And the journey is from suffering to bliss. Eternal bliss. Don't do anything. Don't dislike your life. Accept life wherever you are. Allow it to happen. But you stay as a witness in everything, from small thing to big thing. When this chain of thoughts are coming, always remember they are coming for a doer, not for awareness, uninvolved awareness. It is only guiding the doer. And when you are non-doer, thoughts have no role to play. So if you ask me what is the other indicator to know that you are in this divine self, is hardly any thoughts, hardly any intrusive thoughts. Even if a thought comes, it has no effect on you. It is like a background noise, comes and goes. Maybe it's knocking on your door thinking that the doer is still there, but doer has already left, disappeared, dead. So it's like a postman which brings all those mails of the previous occupier of that home. And you keep getting those mails for a while, and then those mails stop coming. Don't worry about the thoughts. Don't worry about emotions, feelings, nothing. You give all your energy to the self. Pay attention to this God within you, always present and always witnessing. Try to sit in the lap of this God by uninvolved non-doership, just watching things as they unfold. Mind will give a commentary on things. Don't accept or reject. Just watch. Your this impartial observation will dissolve it. This ego mode. This I has to go first, Then all thoughts will disappear. Because all thoughts are coming for this I only. Who is the owner, who thinks he is the owner of the body-mind. We claim our ownership on even car and house and small things. We are not even owner of this body-mind. This is the first sin. Actually, it is a big hassle. Once you have accepted that you are this, then all responsibility lies on you. And the moment you give up this ownership, you are free. The moment you give up ownership, already it is being taken care by that absolute. So you surrender your ego, or you understand. This understanding is also surrender. Because surrender is a word used in bhakti, like devotion. It's all giving to God. But for a jnani, you understand the truth. What will you hold on when it's all the fake game? Surrender, then it is just understanding will make it disappear. Surrender looks a very heavy word. It looks like you love it. You don't want to give it, but someone is showing a pistol on you and you are surrendering. Okay, I'm giving it to now. Who loves this ego? Do you think anyone in this world loves your ego? Everyone dislikes you because of your ego only. All the enemies we have created is because of this ego. Nobody likes it. Do you think God likes it? Surrendering to God, your ego, bloody, you can surrender flowers, you can surrender good things. Why you want to surrender ego? It's shame on us surrendering our ego to God. Nobody likes this ego. Why would God like your ego? Surrender something good to God, your love. So, and ego, the moment you understand, the ego disappears. You can't even surrender that to God. The moment you know what ego is, it disappears. Because it cannot stand this test of vigilant watching. It just cannot. It can only hide in covers, in identity. That I am so and so, that person is so and he did this to me and I did this. And this keeps going on. Stories after stories. When there is no ownership of body mind, then who can insult you? Someone comes to insult this body. You say, okay, insult. I also don't know who owns it. Insult. I will watch it. I'm just an observer. Keep observing. Keep paying attention to the self. That is more than enough. Whatever is not you will disappear. You don't have to worry. You stay as what you are. No more role playing, no more acting. Let the body do what it's doing. Understand there are two different things happening here. Body is already set to do certain things in this life, and that's what it is doing. It will happen, don't worry, whatever it has to do. You enjoy your bliss. You are that pure Brahman, infinite Brahman. And to be that, you have to leave things what you are not. Not just leave, stop believing that you are any of those things. And see the beauty that your wrong belief has attached to this wrong notion and causing suffering. And the right belief, though to start with it will be a belief only, because it will not be your experiential knowledge. But let's say start with this right belief, and soon you will see the results. Practice with the right belief, right effort, in right direction will give rise to the right fruit. Keep your attention on the one which is just watching the show. Keep your attention here, not here. Allow this to do what it wants to do, your mind, but keep your attention on heart. When you are free, when you are working, when you are going to bed, when you are waking up, keep your attention here. And see how silence and peace will dawn on you. And in this practice, what will happen is that after a certain time, it will continue in its own way, effortlessly, naturally, and more deeply, without effort and more deeply. Because once your energy is sucked into this seeing, your energy is at heart, at the source. It will do it its own way, different in everyone, the way it has to unfold in whatever way. Don't compare your notes with others, how it will happen, when it will happen. It can give you rise to a lot of different experiences or no experiences, or visions or no visions, or some siddhis or no siddhis. Who knows why things happens in different people in different way. It is like divine manifesting through this body in different ways. Like different flowers, when they blossom, they look different. Rose is different than dahlia or any other flower. So we are all like small flowers which have still to blossom. So when you put this energy within, then it starts opening up. And this is such a beautiful opening. You will be so mesmerized by your own energy that you will feel ashamed that you were using all your life, all your energy in pleasing your sense organs. What else we do? working hard, making a career, earning money to please sense organs. How shameful this whole process is. And the whole world is doing that without any exception. Yes, some people are helping others, but that others is there in their mind. And so ego is still feeding. Go beyond duality into this pure awareness, where there is only self and no other. Connect everyone through that self only, which is in all of us. And because you know yourself, you know everyone's self. And because you know it, you love everyone because they are you. Self is only one. And the one who is still in mind can love someone but can also hate someone because there is duality. So have complete faith in your own pure self and be a devotee of your own pure self. Pray to it, love it. And how do you pray, love, and respect? By staying quiet in front of that pure divine awareness, not allowing any thought. Let's say you really respect and you have reverence for someone, and you want him to speak rather than others, and you want to listen to that person. You give him the best place in the room, isn't it? And you sit quietly below on the floor or mat, and you allow the person to speak. Not that you start talking like in a classroom, everyone is talking. Have that reverence for yourself. Listen to it. Pay respect to it. It is a big disrespect when we are chatting in the mind, when we are engaging with our thoughts. It is a big disrespect to that God within. So when you know it is there, and now you know it is there, and you believe me that it is there, then why can't you just shut up? I'm not talking in a rude way, but I'm just saying, just respect. Give respect, reverence to yourself. And give yourself so much importance that no thought is more important than that silence of the self. Let it speak out of this body. Allow it to manifest in this body. Give self space to blossom, to flourish. And the best way is to listen to this silence all the time. Disengaging from all types of thoughts all the time. Not giving credit or discredit to yourself, which is a small self, that I have done this or I have done all this self-talk. Just sit in silence with your own pure self. You could be driving, you could be working, you could be washing dishes. Stay with that. It is always there. It is readily available to anyone who does not insult and who pays respect and who loves it and who is a devotee of it. Do you think all the sages are fools? They are talking that this Brahman is everywhere, infinite, and everything is self, and then only few can see it and no one else? What are they talking about? And time immemorial, they are saying the same thing again and again. Who has sensed it, who has abided in it? Everyone says it is self, it is self. Then why can't we know it? Because we are not respecting it. You can write down in your room, keep quiet. Summa Iru, what Bhagavan says. He's not saying keep quiet means not speaking out, not engaging with any thought. Do you think thoughts comes for you? Declare it is a wrong address. No one lives here. There is no doer. Whenever a thought comes, just declare that and see the beauty of it. Thoughts will start getting less and less, and their power on you will start getting less and less, leaving big gaps of pure silence. The more you get absorbed in silence, there is nothing but silence. Abide in this pure silence always, and abide in your pure bliss. Thank you, everyone, and hope we all get darshan of that pure silence within.